Yeah, I watched the football game. I did. I watched it, and then it ended, and then I turned it off, and I didn't watch anything about it or read anything about it. I guess I caught like 5 minutes of post-game stuff on Channel 7, so like I got mad at Matt Beauvais for a minute. But I intentionally didn't watch or read anything about the game so that everything that I say is directly from me and not from anybody else talking about the game. I mean, there are text messages involved. People are writing to me and things during the game. I watched the first quarter of the game with people, and then I came home and watched with, people who live here. But, like, I don't have outside influence on what I'm thinking about that game. And I think the conversation will turn quite a bit when Scott Wilson joins me at 11 o'clock. He's one of the people who's texting me during the game, of course. When I talk football, it's mostly with Scott Wilson, whether it's UB Bulls, Buffalo Bills, New York Giants, college football in general, concepts about football. It's all, I talk to Scott a lot about football. So I can't pretend he didn't have anything to say during the game, but he gets to say all he wants when he joins me live at 11 o'clock here on episode 215 of Riter Radio. This will be the final episode of this. There's a run. I'm taking next week. Next week's going to be different. Next week's going to be a break from the show. There will be something airing, but it won't be 2 hours of me live. Already, I was going to take Thanksgiving off and the day after Thanksgiving off, but I've decided a week off, especially a week after. The Bills will be done. They already played. They're not playing Sunday. The Bulls don't play until Friday, so I couldn't have done a show that day anyway because of it's game day. Thanksgiving I'm not doing, and rather than forcing 3 shows in, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to get cleaned up. I got some of it done yesterday, quite a bit actually, to where all the shows prior to now are online, because I was missing this entire week of shows because I haven't had time to edit, because video editing and posting takes way longer than audio editing and posting, and this is meant to be an audio show, but it's 2025, so it has to be a visual thing, so you have to look at my dumb face. You don't have to. You can just listen to the audio version. It's better. I prefer it. You should prefer it. Most, I think, would prefer it, but if I'm trying to do this thing the right way, it requires video, so there's that. But that has added a lot of stress and time, and I need to clean it up. So next week, if you don't hear this show and you tune in, and I don't know why I'm talking to somebody who's not listening. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. But if you tune in on Monday, it's time for Brad's show, something will be there. But it's not going to be full-on live 2 hours of me. It might be short live. It might be pre-recorded. It might just be music playing with the thing on the screen that tells you to tune in to the night. But I'm going to keep numbering the episodes. So it'll be 216 through 220, but we're shooting blanks for a week. Not totally disappearing, but shooting blanks for a week to get things organized and back to full strength in time for episode 2, whatever it is, 221. Yeah, this is 215. So 221 will be back to normal. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the football game. But first, I the Epstein files haven't hit yet, but we've got some new distraction. And I haven't seen the video, but there's a video from 6 Congress people, a Michigan senator, Mark Kelly, who I believe is Arizona, and then Representatives Chris DeLuzio, Maggie Goodlander, Chrissy Houlihan, and Jason Crow. In it, Kelly, who served in the Navy and is a former astronaut, says our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. And this is a video put out. I don't know what it exactly is pointed toward. Aside from, it's pointed at the administration. I don't know the specifics that led to this video coming out. I do know that I could not click on what was the top story in my newsfeed. Trump, Democrats' message to troops, seditious behavior punishable by death, from 3 hours ago. So I was like, well, I think I'll click on that, right? We should know We should know why the president is calling for the death of Congress people, right? That's worth looking into. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to say I miss being a kid and thinking and assuming that people who ascended to the level of, let's say, president or senator or congressman or even press secretary for the White House, that seemed like a thing. It seemed like, oh, these are the smarter people in our nation, and these are the people we should listen to that will guide us, will show us the way. I'm just going to read words and then just think about, like, just be you don't have to be in Congress. You don't have to be a political person. You don't have to have ever run for office. I don't even need you to have ever voted. You may have. I'm okay if you've never considered voting. I just want you to listen to these words and hear how these words are the words of dumb people. And then just reconsider everything, about everything you ever hear from everybody who we've elected or promoted or hired or given a position of authority. Just, okay. And this does all hinge on a pet peeve of mine that I know is a pet peeve of many. It was like a plot point in Parks and Rec, which, we're not supposed to look to sitcoms for leadership either. But remember the Rob Lowe character that just constantly used the word literally, but he would say literally. All right. We know what the word literally means, right? Do we? Should I look it up and read it aloud? Because that's the punchline in all of this. When I say the word literally in a quote, you're gonna understand, I think, what I mean. If you don't, it's fine. Again, my show's not for everyone, but good God. All right, so I wake up to, first of all, I'm not happy because the Bills lost last night. Then I went to bed, I woke up, I was like, the Bills lost, I gotta talk about it, and then I have to go to a meat raffle. Like, that's my day, and it's raining. The pump's not totally working great to get the water off the pool cover. And it's just one of those, come on, man, type of days. It's working. It's like drooling out. But it rained. So there's more. I drained it for hours yesterday, and it's all wet. So I got that. And then I wake up to the president calling for the death of people in Congress. I'm like, well, this starting to seem like maybe we picked the wrong guy. Like, I don't know. All right, so there's a video out there in which 6 Congress people are making a statement seemingly against the current administration. And Mark Kelly, the astronaut, former astronaut, senator and former astronaut, served in the Navy. He says, our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. This administration is pitting our uniformed military and intelligence committee professionals against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath to protect and defend this Constitution. Right now, the threats are coming to our Constitution. The threats coming to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Trump reacted to the video in a series of irate posts on Thursday, accusing the lawmakers of, in capital letters, of course, like dumb people talk, seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. An example must be set. Various words in there were put in capital letters. Lock them up. In caps with 3 question marks. Our president puts 3 question marks at the end of a Truth Social post that he had to invent because they wouldn't let him talk on Twitter. Someone else posted and he reposted it. Hang them, George Washington would. That's the president. Online. Okay. Here's the part that, none of that is even shocking. Really. Here's the one that got me. Here's the one, again, remember the word. What's the word of the day? Literally. Right? White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt. First of all, 28-year-old, good-looking, hired for that, press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. The White House press secretary is a 28-year-old woman. That's definitely the most qualified person to be speaking on behalf of the president, right? It's not just that he's into young women at all, right? It's not that. Okay. Here's what she said. Many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. Timeout, truth detector. How about what led to the people putting out the video? How about that? Can we start with that? Or do we want to pretend that this was out of nowhere and now the president's just responding to this crazy thing that these people are saying? I don't even know that I agree with them or that they're right. Just that 28-year-old Caroline Leavitt does not in any way have the authority to speak to us as humans and make sense of it all. Here we go. They are literally saying, remember that. Remember what literal, should I? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it in case there's someone new to the country, new to the language. English is your second or third language, so you don't know what the word literally means. Let me just. In a literal manner or sense, or exactly. The driver took it literally when asked to go straight across the traffic circle. Okay, so there's a traffic circle. This is the example they use. A traffic circle. Let's make it an Uber driver, or a taxi driver, or a Lyft driver. Let's make it an illegal immigrant. And we're like, go straight through this. And they're like, okay. And then they go straight through it. And they took it literally, and that's a problem because you can't drive right through a traffic circle because you hit a fountain or something. And you'll mess up the flow of traffic. That would be literally, okay? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. It is perhaps punishable by law. They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. Again, literally means exactly. Let's just use it there. Here was the quote. You can refuse illegal orders. 28-year-old White House spokesman Caroline Leavitt says they're literally saying to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. You can refuse illegal orders. You said to not follow legal orders. No, I didn't. I said the opposite of that. I said the exact opposite of that. It is not just not literal. It is the opposite. It's incorrect. It's wrong. It's the opposite. Well, you said, I said the other thing. No, you didn't. You literally said to, no. That's who gets to speak to the country on a daily basis. Now, I understand that the term literally has been bastardized for years, but it's been bastardized by the kind of people we shouldn't listen to when they speak. Ever. If I say out loud, you can refuse legal orders, and then somebody points at me and goes, he literally just said you can refuse illegal orders. Nope, I screwed it up. Now I'm talking in circles. You got me, Caroline Leavitt. If I edit that out, can't, it's live. If I say out loud, you can refuse legal orders, and then somebody points at me and says, oh my God, I screwed it up again. You can refuse illegal orders. Okay. If I say out loud, I'm screwing it up, digging a hole, I should talk about football. But I can't because I'm angered by this. I'm angered by butchering of the English language at a very, very high level. The 28-year-old White House press secretary said it. And we're supposed to listen to her. She speaks on behalf of the White House. If I say, you can refuse illegal orders, and then she immediately says, you just said literally not to follow lawful orders, we shouldn't be having a conversation because you're too dumb to breathe our air. I mean, They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. Nope. Said the opposite. Said exactly the opposite. Then you decided to put literally in the sentence to imply the opposite of what I said. And then the other part is to, people just want to talk about the president's reaction. Ooh, what about what caused it? Well, what about what caused the thing that caused the thing? How about that? Jesus, we're doomed. We are absolutely doomed. What are we doing? The 6 Democratic lawmakers said in a joint statement, no threat, intimidation, or call for violence will deter us from that sacred obligation, which is defending the Constitution. So there's that. I needed to start with that before talking about Josh Allen being sacked 8 times and a former Bills personnel director saying to just cut Keon Coleman, which is the other thing that popped up. Because, I didn't read about the game, and I think 8 is the number. I'm not positive. I'll open it live. I'll open the box score live, so we've got it. But I'm working exclusively off of things I wrote down during the game. We're not using... Oh, sorry about that. Oh, and we might have a serial killer. I mean, he's going to prison for 40 years for 2 murders, but I would say he's a serial killer is a quote I saw on television last night from a Chautauqua County, I don't know, sheriff or detective or something, prosecutor, something. But that happened. Scott Wilson will join me. Referee got hurt last night. I wanted to look that up. Look that up now. Ref injury. My money's on Achilles. Leg injury, painful injury, non-contact injury. Carted off 12 hours ago. No update. No update on the ref. I'll try footballzebras.com. They seem like the right source for information here, but it's 11 hours old, so probably nothing new. First time since 2021 that a ref has had to come out of a game. Back then, Tony Correnti fell during a game, needed treatment, eventually returned. Every NFL crew drills for this during the preseason. The ref sits out for part of a preseason game while his designated substitute works the ref position. Allison was part of this drill earlier in the season and was pressed into service tonight. We wish Adrian Hill a speedy recovery. No update on him. All right, well, wait, what is this? Umpire Roy Ellison was placed on administrative leave after another player confrontation. That's an older story. On the guy who came in as the ref 7 years ago was placed on administrative leave after a player confrontation. I should go to footballzebras.com more often. This is good. This happened in 2018. Oh, and it involved the Bills. How about this? All right, so the guy who stepped in, there were no real officiating problems last night, I don't think. I think it was fine. But this is interesting. Bills defensive end Jerry Hughes sought out and confronted the officials from Sunday's game on the way to the locker room. Hughes was captured on video going ballistic, yelling that one of the officials called him a bitch. The official that Hughes is directing his ire to was obscured in the video, but Football Zebras identified it was umpire Roy Ellison. Referee Sean Hockley could be heard saying, "Come on, Roy," to defuse the situation. NFL investigating the matter until it's completed. You won't be on the field. Huh. All right. I vaguely remember this. Remember Jerry Hughes getting called a name by an official? He was suspended in 2013 for profane and derogatory comments he allegedly made toward Washington tackle Trent Williams. At the time, only 5 other situations in NFL history spawned a suspension. So that happened in 13. Then it happened in 18 with Jerry Hughes. And then last night, he's the guy who was put in after the starting ref. What's his name? Ellison is this guy. Oh, I'm on the old story. That's why it doesn't have the new guy's name. Adrian Hill. Adrian Hill's the guy who got hurt, and this guy came in. So no word on that. I was hoping to update you, but that looked. Non-contact injuries seem to be the worst injuries, don't they? Man, there were a string of almost injuries to the Bills. I think the injury report this coming week is going to be hideous. And it's going to have 17 people on it, or 24 people on it, all of whom are like important members of the team. There was a moment, I had a thing going on. I was able to watch, basically I watched right through when Josh got hurt. When Josh, and it looked to me, I didn't hear the announcers, it looked to me like his helmet landed on his hand, on his left hand. Like he got hit from behind, fell forward, protected the ball, held that in his right, left hand extended, helmet/face mask right on top of his left hand. That looked bad. He came right back in. He was fine. Fine is the wrong term, but no, he wasn't fine. Nothing was fine about the way they played last night. Nothing was fine about him getting hit as often as he did last night. Still thought they were going to win the game. I really did. Man, Davis catches that ball at the 2 instead of being out of bounds. I get to have my little Gabe Davis party. I get to have my little anti-Patriots party. I get to have my Bills are still going to be the 1 seed party. I was still talking trash in a group text amongst Bills fans. Whiny, bitchy Bills fans. Last night that it was fine, and as bad as it looked and as ugly as it was and as painful as it was, considering everybody getting knocked out, that blue tent, if they charge rent, they made a killing last night. I was still talking trash to friends who root for the same team as me about how everything was fine until it wasn't. Then I just swore and went to bed and woke up, and now I'm here with you. I'll be with Scott Wilson in half an hour, but you get half an hour of me reading through the notes I wrote about the Bills game, all of them written with the idea that it was going to be okay in the end. So, the tone might be a little off. I might be missing a little of, what I should be hitting on, but it's what I got. I like to do this solo, especially on it's a night game. And I know I'm just going to get up and talk about it. I don't want the influence of, the post-game show. I wouldn't mind hearing the press conferences to react to those, but I don't want anyone else's opinion clouding mine. I've got enough of that through texting and my wife and my kids and, that kind of stuff. Oh, the kids were asleep. They missed the whole damn thing. The first thing that I wrote down was Shakir Allen Dawkins evaluated and returned. Nice. That was good. I wrote down Cole Bishop starting to stand out. I think that's probably not controversial at this point, right? That's a guy that we've been talking about and sort of worrying about in the offseason. A part of last season, but it was his rookie year. We kind of let it slide collectively. And then it was a rookie last year as a safety, pressed into duty, and it wasn't pretty. He lately, last, month or so, is starting to look like a guy that I want on the team. Really, since the injury to Taylor Rapp, who was frustrating to watch. Since Bishop has been kind of thrust into the limelight again, he's been very good, very impressive, and I'm happy with him. Part of it might be Poyer being back and helping sort of show him the way. So I think Poyer is ramping up to speed too. The first time he was on the field this year, it felt kind of like, I don't know. The first time Poyer was on the field felt like every time Trey White is on the field. Is that fair? Like, love Trey White. Glad he's a part of the team. Would really, really prefer to limit the snaps that he's on the field. I like having him around. I'm rooting for him. But he's not the player he used to be at all. He steps on the field, teams just are throwing right at him, and it's working. So that part stinks. I don't have an answer for it, but I'm frustrated on his behalf. But when it was him and Rapp, like, ugh, and Poyer, like, ugh. I'm good with Benford, although I don't think he's been great this year either. But I'm good with him. I'm good with Taron Johnson, and I'm getting real good with Cole Bishop. So I'm that's a plus. Gabe Davis being back on the team, okay. Josh Allen got sacked a lot, was pressured a lot, didn't run a lot. Houston's defense was legit, straight up. They got him. They got him good. Offense couldn't get the job done yesterday. Defense was fine. Offense, no good. They still were able to move the ball effectively a couple times. This is what's tough for me. First of all, I'm thrown off when games are being played midweek. But you throw, instead of having like a Saturday of college football and a Sunday of pro football and then a Monday show, you hit me with Wednesday night, go to a football game, Thursday night, watch a football game, Friday morning, and both of them are like super disappointing and taking away the thing that I've been thinking about the whole year. That's what I got. That's what I'm dealing with right now as a fan of the Bills and the Bulls, the UB Bulls. UB Bulls still can win this weekend and go to a bowl game, but I had championship on my mind. And they needed to win Wednesday night and didn't. That was taken away. So championship off the table for the Bulls. And I think 1 seed off the table. I felt great about the 1 seed. Going into last night, I felt great about it. Really not that difficult. If the Bills heat up like they should and play like one of the best teams in the league, like they should, could, would, might, probably still will, they were going to be at 8-3 and be half a game behind the Patriots, who you still play. Like, that would have worked. And then all you need is win your games and have the Patriots lose to Baltimore or Miami or the Jets. Lose one of those. Bills win their games. 1 seed. Yeah, there's still the Colts situation to deal with a little bit. Denver is still kind of a deal, but I want the 6th straight division title, and that seems far less likely today. The 1 seed feels out of reach. The division does not feel out of reach to me. It's certainly less likely. I was tempted to text my boy Mike in Boston and congratulate him on the Patriots division title last night, but I decided not to because I figured I'd work myself into a place where I think they can still win the division. I do. I still think they can win the division. I don't think 1 seed is within the realm of possibility. But if you win the division, you can still host that was the whole thing this year, right? Close out Highmark Stadium with the AFC Championship game. I think that's still on the table. You now just need somebody to beat whoever the 1 seed is. But I don't think, if the 1 seed isn't the Bills, I don't respect the 1 seed, honestly. It's not going to be the Chiefs. I respect that team. It's not going to be the Ravens. I respect that team. It's going to be the Patriots or the Colts or the Broncos, right? It's not going to be the Ravens. It's not going to be the Steelers. It's not going to be the Chiefs. It's not going to be the Chargers. So it's going to be one of those. It's going to be the 1 seed, which is fine. Okay. Well, in order to win, I got to go through Indianapolis. Oh, no. Fine. Not Daniel Jones. I'm not saying the Bills win the Super Bowl this year. I'm just saying I don't mind going through Indy to do it. Do you? I also think that if Indy's the 1 seed or the Patriots are the 1 seed, there's a real good chance that they're not around at the end. So now I just need to be above the other team in the AFC Championship game. Yes, I'm thinking ahead. Yes, I'm planning on a lot of victories. But if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. It's either, here's the deal. Here's what's nice about being a 51-year-old fan of the Buffalo Bills. Either they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, which would be awesome, or they're not, which is what happens every year. So, like, the worst thing that's going to happen is the same thing that always happens, which is fine. I'm used to it. I can't wait for next year already. Win or lose. It's fine. So, I don't know. I don't get injured by losses the way that I used to. because I at some point recognized I had fun the 4 years that they lost the Super Bowls. That was great. More football. As many games as you can play. I'm in. Getting to the Super Bowl and losing is better than getting to the championship game and losing, which is better than getting to the divisional round and losing, which is better than getting to the wild card round and losing, which is better than missing the playoffs. Anyone who tells you otherwise is overthinking it. More wins, better. So if I finish in second place, that's better than first, or excuse me, that's better than third, which is better than fourth, which is better than fifth, etc. That's my approach to it. So I can survive games like this. But I didn't like it. I actually, you know what? I did like it. I liked the game. I was like in a borderline argument with my wife and people on text. Like I think it was an awesome football game. It was very dramatic, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun to see the Bills face that challenge defensively. I did not know that I would come away from the game more fearful of Will Anderson than any other player in the NFL. I didn't know that was going to happen, but he was awesome. Can we talk about Danielle Hunter real quick? And not about his football, but about his name? Because that says Danielle. I know people named Danielle. That's what the word says. And I think his entire name, his entire first name, his entire life is based on a typo or a misspelling at birth, because they had to mean Daniel, right? They had to mean Daniel. And then they spelled it Danielle. And then they're like, oh, your daughter's name is Danielle? And the parents had to be like, no, it's Daniel. I'm like, well, it says Danielle. And they're like, oh, crap, now what? So then they huddle up, and then they come up with Danielle. But Danielle's not a name. Daniel's a name, and Danielle's a name, and his name's Danielle. And they've just had to make up this lie for it the whole time. So, I mean, you can be a sucker and just fall right in and call this dude Danielle if you want. I'm going with Danielle because that's what it says. All right, what else did I write down? Bishop hit on Nico Collins in late second quarter. I don't remember that specifically, but I do remember really liking Cole Bishop last night, and this has been growing over the last month or so. I wrote down Dan Cave likes McDermott's glasses. So I have mentioned for the last month or so, as McDermott's been borrowing his wife's glasses, that I don't think they look good on him. Especially that game against Miami where he had those on and McDaniel had on the like blue blockers. Those big stupid things you used to be able to get for $14.99 on infomercials while wearing capri pants. Like, I just thought the look overall, like, why are these dudes wearing their wives' glasses or their mom's glasses or their late aunt's glasses? I don't get it. Dan Cave the other night, it's like, I like the look of McDermott in glasses. I think it really suits him. I was like, shut up, Dan Cave. I wrote that down. Sorry. I wrote 2016 halftime equals fun. That was fun. The first half was fun. It was chaotic, but it was fun. And I liked the second half too. But also, I liked it all the while thinking it was going to turn out okay. So then by the end, it's like, and then, rip this up and throw it out. But I didn't. It's still here. All right, I have 16 minutes before Scott's here. I like this. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit. I think they're a good broadcast team. I like them. They're much better when the game is interesting. Al Michaels sounds often like, how old is he? I always think he's 80. He might be, he's probably like 78. Al Michaels. Age. 81. All right. So Al Michaels was born November 12th. Happy birthday, Al. I was right until last week or 2 weeks ago. I did think he was 80, and he was 80, but now he's 81 because his birthday was November 12th. Al often sounds like in bad games, especially like early. Is it last year, the first year that they did Prime, or is this the third year of Prime? Whatever it was, when they first started doing the games on Prime, it felt like he was just walking around going, I'm 79. I called the Miracle on Ice. Why am I in Indianapolis on a Thursday on the internet? Like, what's happening? Why am I not on television? What is this thing? It felt like that. And then he started getting some good games. Then he was fine. And I think they're good in good games. And Herb Street, too. Herb Street was early criticized for, well, he's a college guy, not a pro guy. There's not a difference. I mean, yes, he's more embedded in college football and can speak on, the depth of the low-end teams in the major conferences better than a guy whose, career is dedicated to the NFL, of course. But all those dudes in the NFL came from the college game. Herb Street came from the college. It's fine. All of it's fine. I think they're good, and they have good observations. And I wrote down one. They showed Josh Allen on the sideline. I think it was right after he hurt his hand. It was right after something didn't go well. And they showed him on the sideline, sit down on the bench, put his hat on. And they said, facial expression and body language never changes. And then one of them said, stoic. Like, yeah, stoic. My quarterback is stoic. Now, I didn't watch the post-game press conference. Maybe we should do that together. Hear what Josh had to say after the game. But I'm riding with him. I'm riding with all of this. This is good. He deserved to be the MVP last year. He was, at least going into last night, listed as the third favorite to be MVP this year, despite the, stress we're feeling with 7 wins and 4 losses. That's still how he's perceived. That's still who he is. If they lose the rest of their games this year, they're still a favorite to go to and win the Super Bowl next year, regardless of what happens with the roster, if that dude is here and healthy. And he knows that. And he looks like a guy who knows that. That one didn't go my way. All right. Moving on. Let's try again. We could learn something from him as fans. We really could. If that's how the quarterback, who was named most valuable player in the league, feels and acts when things don't go well, maybe we could do that too as fans of the team led by that guy who is an all-time great in the history of the sport. Maybe. All right, and then I wrote halftime 20-16 again. So I don't know why. I think it was if it's 20-16 at halftime, this is fun. That was the killer, man. The after the Davis touchdown, the Davis touchdown was the thing that, in theory, propels the Bills to victory. Okay, things have been a little messy. They've been a little choppy. You're getting after our guy. It's not going perfectly well. Kick return touchdown in your face. After a field goal, too. Kick return touchdown after a touchdown is cool in that it wipes the thing out. Kick return touchdown after a field goal is, cool drive, nerds. We're +4. Or +3 if we miss the extra point. But they didn't miss that extra point. They missed a different extra point. That's a problem. I wanted to just lock in on Matt Prater as the kicker when Tyler Bass returns. And I don't know. I haven't heard any rumblings that he's close. But I've just kind of been working with the assumption, sorry, take your time there, Tyler. Prater's fine. And he has been good. He's been respectable, for sure. Way more good than bad. But that missed extra point is kind of the game. Because they're trailing by 4 when they could have been trailing by 3. And that last drive plays out way differently. And, it's a different sport if that extra point goes through like it's supposed to. And I know the NFL has designed it so that extra points don't always go through anymore. That's why they backed him up. They were too automatic. And it used to be you have to get really mad if somebody misses one. Now people miss them sometimes. And we have to accept it. But that's pretty frustrating. All right, things I have written down. Ref, non-contact injury. And then I wrote Achilles. We hate to speculate. People say that. I'd love to speculate. It's one of my favorite things to do is speculate. What are we going to talk about if we're not going to speculate? What's the point? Hate to speculate on this injury. No, speculate. Tell me what you think. Why are you here? Why do you have a microphone? You're not going to speculate. That looked Achilles to me. He grabbed not at his knee, but at his leg, like below his knee. And that to me, again, I've heard a description of what it feels like. I haven't had it happen to me. But it's the injury that when you do it, you know what it is. And ever since I heard that, now every time I see it, I think I know what it is. And I think I'm batting 1,000. I think every time I thought, ooh, that looks like Achilles, it is. So that's my guess on the ref injury, but no word on him. Hairston got hurt one play after the ref got hurt. But he couldn't get into the tent, I think, because Spencer Brown was already in the tent. The tent was busy. My wife asked, what's up with the turf? It seemed like there were a lot of turf-related injuries. I don't know if that's true. I was wondering what's up with the turf at UB the other night because people kept slipping. It felt like it wasn't wet out and there was a lot of slipping. So it's 2 nights in a row I watched my team have its goal ripped from it and wondered aloud or heard someone wonder aloud, what's up with the turf? Al Michaels, another good quote, said, film of the third quarter will not be sent to Canton. I thought that was good. The Bills pulled a hook and lateral play. I don't remember. I should have asked my son, but he was asleep, and then he was already gone to school when I woke up this morning. So I will ask my son. He brought up the other day that he's like, you know what I really like about some team? And I don't know if it was a pro team or a college team. He said they run this play where it's 2 slants going at each other, and the one guy catches it, and the other guy comes behind him, and it goes the other way, and it works every single time. And the Bills pulled it off yesterday on a pass to Palmer that was tossed back to Shakir and put them in position to kick the tying field goal if they had made the extra point earlier. Now, why do we assume the guy who missed the extra point makes the field goal? We don't, but it happened, and the game is very different if it's 3 versus 4. But that was an awesome play that my son had just talked about. Within the last 48 hours, he was talking about this cool play he saw, or this cool play that some team runs all the time. Might be the Chiefs. I don't know. And then the last thing I wrote down on my sheet is we need to stop going to Houston. Because it always feels like it'll be fine. And then it always isn't fine. Playoff game. John Brown touchdown pass to Josh Allen. Great start. Free touchdown to start the second half. Wiped out for no reason. And then you lose the playoff game. That was terrible. Last year's game was terrible. Last night's result was terrible. I did enjoy the game until I saw the result because I believed in the team. I believe in Josh Allen, and I continue to do so. They're fine. So those are my general thoughts. Now I'll play a song. Then we'll talk to Scott Wilson. It'll get way more negative with Scott. He's a jerk. He gets like that. Although he might not be because he won so much meat during the UB game / meat raffle on Wednesday. He might just be hanging out in a room with slow cooking pork loin. He might be 2-fisting T-bone steaks or ribeyes. Sorry, ribeyes. He won a pair of ribeyes and a massive pork loin. I'm going to take a break, play a song or two, and then Scott will be here. It's Riter Radio. It's episode 215, and we shall return momentarily with our good friend Scott Wilson to talk football and life as we continue. I got to find a song. I have all these songs at the ready now, and I never remember to have one in mind. Here we go. We shouldn't go to Houston. Someone told me not to go to Houston. Who was that woman?
Let's check in with Riter Radio's senior football correspondent, Scott Wilson.
There we go. Now we got him. What's up, man?
What's up? Football.
Football.
That's me.
Football.
Yeah.
It was 2 nights in a row of football that I looked forward to, and then I was sad about. I didn't enjoy the result of either of the games that I watched this week. And I dedicate so much time to these teams, and sometimes they make me sad.
Yeah, this is one of those weeks.
Yeah, it was crap.
You get the weekend off. That's positive.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, not good for either one.
Yeah, I liked a lot of things. I enjoyed the game. Like, I can detach myself as much as I'm a fan. I can detach myself and say, this is fun. Like, as just a fan of football, seeing Houston's defense taking on this, the MVP and beating him up. It's like, it was cool. And then watching him try to fight through it, it felt like it was like a slugfest type of thing that I enjoyed. But the whole time I was picturing the result being a positive one, so we could all just say, like, I was already ready to have the conversation about, yeah, but they won, and it was fun to fight through it, and it was adversity, and I was ready for all that, and then they didn't score at the end, and then that part goes away, and then like all the notes I took on the game kind of become useless.
Not useless. I mean, it's still a learning experience, I guess, but the sacks were a problem. Sacks were a problem for both teams this week.
Yeah. It's running together. It's two just rough nights of football.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? Let's start with Bills.
Yeah.
Since it's freshest there. The Bills, I think the frustrating part for me, as we've established, I'm a Giants fan, so I kind of look at the Bills as a secondary team, and
sure,
my son is a huge Bills fan. So, I feel like I have a little bit more of an objective view than a lot of pure fans. But it's really frustrating when a team like they're having trouble blocking the pass rush. So how do I counteract that? Well, you can run the football. You can do some controlled, designed rollouts, sprint outs. And then once you establish that you run the football, then you can do some play action to keep everybody honest for at least a half second. And that could be the half second that you need to get a guy open down the field somewhere. Right. And they did establish the run, and they did it fairly effectively and consistently throughout the game, and then stopped. Just stopped.
Yeah.
And they kept rolling back there like they were going to have time to throw the ball down the field. And I'm sorry, after sack 5, you should know you don't. And that's very, very frustrating to watch just as a fan. And to watch the whole fourth quarter be dictated completely because they're dropping back like they're facing some crap team that can't pressure them. And there's 3/4 of evidence that that's not the case. This is a good team. You have some injuries on the offensive line to begin with, and they're getting teed off on, man. And you got to help them out. Now, in the O-line's defense, Josh, probably 2 or 3 of those are on him just running around and refusing to throw the ball away.
Definitely, yeah.
Something that we haven't really seen him do in years. He's been like he flipped that switch with Dable that one year and was a completely different player after that. And this is the first time that we've seen him really regress back to a little bit more of that. And I don't know if he knows that he has to put the whole team on his back, so he's shouldering that and trying to make some of those plays, or what. I would assume that that's it, that he feels the pressure, that he knows the defense isn't good, and that he doesn't have weapons, so he's going to have to buy time to get some of the plays that they need to survive. And in the process, he's needlessly taking losses of 10, 15 yards that he doesn't have to. But again, he's not getting any help in the play calling department. Like, just run the football. Or if you want to throw the ball, it's got to come out in a second and a half to 2 seconds. Anything beyond that is a problem. And it's got to be something that's designed to get it out. Those swing passes, very effective. Very effective. They were fine. And those are basically extended handoffs.
Yep.
That's another element of the run game that you can use. And it
went away.
It just disappears. And this isn't the first game that's happened where all of a sudden James Cook is gone. And you're sitting there wondering, why? Why? That's not only do I want him to get the ball because he's one of the best players on offense, but it also is helping. It would help the problem that we're dealing with right now. And they just didn't do it. And that's tough. I'll give the defense credit. They were much better in the second half. They were able to settle back down, but you can't just have a half where you suck. They were terrible. That's Davis Mills, dude. Like, what are we talking about? They're ripping off a good part of that first half. They were ripping off runs at 10 yards a carry.
Yeah. While he started
what
one
are
of
we
eight.
Talking about?
He started 1 of 8. They were still
and
fine.
It didn't matter.
No, they were fine.
Yes. It I don't know, man. And it's something that we've talked about since day one. And it's something that you probably, I know that you've said before that you don't mind me texting you during the games, but I felt bad because I felt annoying at one point last night because I'll just text you 27.
Yeah.
Because when Trey White is on the field, the ball went to his guy every single time. And especially in the fourth quarter when he had to come in, Benford got banged up and they had to move some guys around. In the fourth quarter, the one time that they didn't, they came up short on the 3rd and 6, and that gave the Bills the ball back with 3 minutes left. They threw it to somebody else's guy, and it was an immediate tackle, and it was a 3-yard gain and a punt. Every other throw had gone to 27, and it was wide open, and it had been like that the whole game.
Yeah,
I
don't have a solution for that. Is the problem? Like, I don't have. It's not. Oh, they got to get him off the field because I need blank to take his spot because it's going to be better. I mean, I think they're putting the best they've got out there, and that's the best they've got in that spot, right?
It's not Trey White's fault.
Yeah.
It's not Trey White's fault that his time has come and the team continues to force him out onto the field.
Right.
He's doing the best he can. It's not like he's not playing hard or he's distracted or he's not, any of that nonsense. That's not it at all. It's just the time comes for everybody.
Yeah.
And his time has come.
His time came
and
3 years ago.
Unfortunately, it's on the field. They got to figure out some other way. They got to, I know you said there's no one else I want in, there's no one else I'm clamoring to see.
Yeah, solve it. Figure it out, right?
Jamarcus Ingram was a scratch.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got to start thinking like, well, why? What? Like, is he really like? I know at least Ingram can move. I've seen him return 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Like, the guy can come in and play. He's not bad, and it's not a total liability when he's on the field. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe in practice they're seeing that there is no difference between Ingram and White, and if they're even, then you'll take the experience. But
right.
It's brutal to watch. He walks on the field, and you know where the ball's going, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of questions to ask about this. Like, I put all I had into watching it and writing things down and talking about it for the last hour and sleeping and dreaming about it. And I guess the thing that's disheartening to me, and this will connect to Wednesday night too, is I went into a game thinking about a championship, and I came out of a game, in UB's case, knowing there's no championship, and in Buffalo's case, thinking, I was just trying to make it easy. I was just trying to make it a home thing. I still had the 1 seed in my head, and I had a very rational attack and approach to getting there. It was going to be, you're half a game behind New England. You're going to play them. You're going to beat them. They're going to lose to Baltimore. You're going to win the rest of your games. You're going to be the 1 seed. You need somebody, maybe Kansas City, to help you with Indy or something. But the path was there, and the path has become incredibly cluttered and incredibly difficult and seemingly, at least today, insurmountable to get to that 1 seed. Doesn't mean they don't go to the playoffs. Doesn't mean they can't win the Super Bowl. None of that is there. But I like the nice, easy version of playing 2 games and both of them being home and closing this stadium with an AFC Championship game and moving on. And it's tough to picture that this morning. That's kind of where I am on it. I'm okay. I'll be good by tomorrow, probably. But this morning, I like the easy path. And now that the road is closed, like I'm just trying to get right over there and the road just closed. And now I can still get there, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take extra time. It's going to take energy. It's going to cost me money. I hate it, but it's still there. And I'll remember that at some point in the near future. It's just not this morning.
Well, let me ask you this.
All
Are
right.
you still sure they're going to the playoffs?
Am I sure they're going to the playoffs? Well, no, I'm not sure of anything. I'm not sure that I'm going to be alive tomorrow.
Don't get existential.
There's no part of me that thinks that they will miss the playoffs. Sure, I'm not going to say yes, I'm sure, but no part of me has considered that they might sit out in January.
Okay. All right. So
what about you?
It's not a total panic situation.
It's definitely not a panic situation. 7-4. If you asked me before the season, 7-4, I'd be like, all right. It's not the best. I'd like 9-2, but 7-4 is fine. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right. I don't have in front of me who they have left on their schedule here, but I know that, like you said, they're playing the Patriots again, right?
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All right. So that's
Eagles.
a potential 5. Okay. Well,
Steelers.
there's 6. And I think they probably
Colts.
can beat the Steelers. They got the Colts still left, right?
I think so.
So now we're at 7.
Standings.
You see where I'm going?
No.
Like this thing can get off kilter real quick.
All right, here's the schedule. Here's
you're
the
talking
schedule.
8 with the Steelers if they're
Colts.
able to do something to you.
No Colts.
Okay. All right. No Colts.
Steelers, Bengals, at Steelers, home Bengals, at Patriots, at Browns, home Eagles, home Jets.
All right. So you've got Eagles and
Patriots.
Joe Burrow Bengals?
Probably. That's the target date is 12/7 for Bengals for Burrow to return to the Bengals.
So, I mean, is that a given? I don't know if that's a given. So now you're looking at 7 losses, 10-7. 10-7 going to get you in?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I was about to look at standings, and then I had to look at schedule because I needed to find out who they were playing. But I'm going to look at playoff standings right now.
Because you got the Chiefs at 5-5, and
right.
now Houston's at 6-5.
Jacksonville's at 6-4. All right. So right now, Denver and New England have 9 wins. Let's just look at wins, okay? Denver and New England have 9 of them. Colts have 8. Chargers and Bills have 7. Steelers have 6. And then wild card wise, in addition to Chargers and Bills are still 7, but also with 6 are Jacksonville and Houston. Chiefs and Ravens have 5. Let's call the Dolphins out at 4-7. So there are 10 teams for 7 spots, and you've got 1 more win than 2 of them and 2 more wins than 2 of them.
Okay.
You got to hold your own. You can't just take a nap. You got to play some more football, but they're going to the playoffs.
Okay.
And I don't mind being the
just
6 or 7 seed. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying this isn't they've put themselves in a very precarious, slippery position here where this could, very easily go sideways. I don't know. It's hard for me at this point to call them a deeply flawed team. I know they're a deeply injured team.
Yeah.
We're getting a new appreciation for just how much Ed Oliver has meant to them, because that aspect of the defense has not been all that good.
No, it's been a mess.
They get run all over and then they get no pressure. So, that's a bad combo. Rousseau has been less than impressive this year.
Mm-hmm.
Bose has been okay. He's made a play here or there.
I've liked him, but he's supposed to just be an extra part, and they don't have the base of it working. Right. I mean, I like him. I'm glad he's here. He's done well. He's been a force in moments, but that's all I expected out of him. Best case scenario, the rest of the D-line was supposed to function better around him, and a lot of that's injury. But yeah, it's not working.
Linebackers have been banged up.
Yep.
Safeties kind of been banged up. I know Rapp's out for the year. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I've had Bishop has been impressive. I've liked Bishop a lot lately. And I think he's rounding into form, and I think Poyer is starting to look like a football player again. Like I think I'm okay actually at safety, and at corner for the most part I'm okay. Aside from the Trey White problem that we discussed right off the bat, I think they're all right there. It's just up front they're getting pounded.
Benford and Hairston have both been injured, and banged up.
Everyone's hurt.
So is the slot really.
Taron Johnson.
Taron Johnson's been hurt and banged up in the slot as well. And it's another thing yesterday that the Bills had a problem with. They got to wrap up. They had 2 or 3 times where it was short yardage situations and they played it perfectly, and they had 2 or 3 guys in the backfield and it was going to be 4th down, and then nobody wraps up and the guy just rolls forward for 4 yards and a 1st down, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
you had this guy wrap up, and if you can't wrap up because the guy's big, go low and wrap up the legs and go low and take him out at the knees. So it was overall a very frustrating game. That's as frustrated as I've seen Josh Allen, especially after the 4th and 1 in the earlier part of the 4th quarter.
Can we talk about that? I mean, obviously, I watch more football with you, or talk about football more with you both than anyone else. And if there's one thing upon which we agree, it's that if you need 3 feet to gain a 1st down, you probably shouldn't go 15 feet backwards and then try to gain 18 feet to get the 3 feet, right?
Especially when you've got a monster at quarterback that is like a 90% conversion rate of just leaning forward and getting it. You and I had the same experience with Tyree Jackson at UB,
right?
Who was 6'7", and it's like, this guy breathes and he's got a 1st down. What are we doing?
It's right here. Just take it. Just take it.
Just take the free yardage, and they're a yard away.
Why are you backing out of your parking spot? Just go forward.
Yeah.
There's no one in front of you. Just go forward.
And they're choosing to take the ball 4 or 5 yards away from the line. So now they're making it 4th and 6. And I don't know why. If that's Trubisky at quarterback, fine. I get it. If that's
a regular sized person
at quarterback, or Justin Fields or somebody like that, that's less diminutive and physical than Josh Allen, sure, take it away. The only reason I could think of is his hand is seriously injured. He has told the coaches that, and they're protecting him because if they get in a scrum, he's probably going to fumble the ball because he can't hold it as tight.
Okay.
I saw no sign of that. And I think that the conclusion is when Amazon shows him on the sidelines and he turns to Trubisky and goes, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That to me seems like, all right, so none of those other things that I mentioned have happened, and he's pissed. Like, bro, I'm right there. What's going on? Why are we taking the ball back all the way to hand off against a team that we're having trouble blocking, and they know that we only need the yard and everybody's going to be coming downhill anyway.
Yeah. So let's give them 2 seconds to come at us. Well, we're coming from back there instead of right here. We're already right here.
If here's how I would approach short yardage with Josh, and this is 1 yard and in. If I'm not quarterback sneaking, it's got to be a pass. Because the best option for me running the football is the quarterback sneak to get that half yard and move the sticks. So if he's going to take that back and you're going to say we're going to suck everybody up and we're going to have the tight end wide open, popped open for a touchdown or
the back in the Gabe flat. Davis. Right. Yeah, anything.
Right. That's fine. But I can't take the ball out to run it. If I'm going to run it, I'm going to put it with the guy that's the most consistent to get 1 yard. That's Josh Allen. He's already there.
Yeah.
He's already there.
Yeah, that was insane. I don't know. How about the little hook and lateral? That was cool.
That was fun.
That was very cool. Why don't we see that once a game from every team in football? It's such a perfect, easily executable play, and it catches everyone by surprise. And I guess if you did it once a game, it wouldn't, but I don't know, man. Like, it always works. It always works. Doesn't always work to the extent that it did yesterday, but it always works. We should see it more.
I agree, and I think that there's an element of it's long yardage, and you're not usually going to find that much space between defenders and the ball because the Texans were basically just lined up at the first down line, trying to keep everything in front of them. So in the process, it kind of allows for some of that more than usual. But I'm with you.
It's just an option play down the field. It's great.
The guy that I know you and I are endlessly intrigued with, I'm forgetting his name, Kevin Kelly, maybe something like that.
Oh, yeah.
From he
the original no punt guy, right?
The punt guy, the no punt guy from Arkansas High School.
Yeah.
No punt, no field goals, no kickoffs. He onside kicked every time, no matter the score. It was no punting, going for it on fourth down every time. No extra points, going for 2-point conversions every time.
Right, just push it. Push every opportunity. Push.
And he won state championships and whatever. And I remember him, they did a profile on Real Sports on him, and they asked him, you're kind of on the leading edge. What do you think is the next step? And this is years ago, and I remember him saying, I think approaching down the field action with a rugby pitch is going to be the next step. I just don't know how that's going to work yet. So it's basically throwing it downfield and then having it set up so that there's an option pitch off of that. It's difficult to do. It draws attention, but it's basically the hook and lateral. So,
which is basically the counter Trey that was the play that made Thurman Thomas an NFL MVP. It was all action to the right, one step to the right. Now we go left. Just get the defense going the wrong way and then switch it on them quickly. I mean, it's cutting on a dime, but more effectively because you're using a separate player.
All that was, the hook and ladder, all that is just an end around. You just do it 15 yards down the field.
Right.
And you hope that there's not extra bodies in the way that are going to make it difficult, or that you're not tackled before you can pitch the ball.
Well, when you're doing it down the
Boise
field.
State did that to tie Oklahoma in that famous Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
And
Miami did it to the Jets or the Jets, famously in a playoff game. It's right. It's the thing is, though, it's a reverse, but you don't have to do it. Like, you can opt out of it and just keep the ball if it doesn't present itself. But it seems to present itself quite often. I very rarely see a play where I think, oh, he wanted to pitch it, but he decided not to. Like, it happens. Those opportunities are there. It's such a cool play to see. I just wish we saw it more. But maybe if we see it more, then it wouldn't be as cool.
We remember we saw it in that famous Chiefs Bills game. Remember, what's his name pitched it back, and I got called back for lining up offsides?
Yes. Kelsey
pitched it back to somebody else, and I don't know if it was Hardman or
no,
somebody.
The guy that came from the Giants, Kadarius Toney, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Kadarius Toney was lined up offsides.
Yes, but he was the guy who got the ball.
But it might have been him
on
that
the pitch.
got
I
the
think it was
ball
him.
and then ran it in, and he's a rapper now.
Is he really?
Good draft pick by the Giants. Thank you for that. That was a first-round selection.
Yeah.
We'll
all
take
right.
the rapper from Florida.
Well, that's all he's doing? Just rapping? No football?
No football.
Because you can
just
rap
rapping.
and play football. Stevie Johnson did that very effectively on both
No,
fronts.
see, the problem is that he couldn't play football. He was terrible.
Yeah.
He was awful.
First round pick. Let's see. Legal issues.
Yeah.
Professional
line up
career.
onside.
Yeah.
He did have the punt return in the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
That's basically the only play he ever made.
looking for his. I was going to try to play his rap music. They don't have any. Strangled a woman in January.
Sounds about right. Yep.
He came out. He got out of jail right away just for $50,000. That was easy. No big deal. You can choke whoever you want. He got $50,000. February 6th, he was arrested in Georgia on one count of aggravated assault and one count of obstructing 911 calls. I didn't know that was a thing. He had allegedly strangled a woman in Georgia in January. A warrant was issued for his arrest. His bail was set at $25,000 for each count. The day of his arrest, he was released after paying $50,000 bail. Career won the Super Bowl. Played 5 seasons total. 2 with the Giants, 2 with the Chiefs. 1 game with the Browns. And I guess he's a rapper, according to you. Wikipedia does not have anything about his rap career because I was willing to play his music. I was gonna pump him up.
Pretty sure I saw he had rap music out. No,
I'm not saying no. I'm gonna type in Kadarius Toney rap. He drops new album, Young Joker. Yeah, November 1st.
Yeah,
this just happened. This happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Warrior for Life is the name of his album. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. That sounds wrong, but maybe it's right. He previously dropped 3 full albums, 4 EPs, and a mixtape since 2019. Last played with the Browns, December of 2024. Yeah, you got it. You're right. You know what you're talking about. You know Kevin Kelly. You know Kadarius Toney is also known as Young Joker. He's Young Joker.
Young Joker.
He's Young Joker, and his album
like Young
is
Joker.
Young Joker, and his album is Warrior for Life. We'll look up Young Joker. Maybe we got some of that to play.
Young Choka.
Young Choka. All right. UB championship dreams are dead. Bowl game still alive. I'm just walking around in a malaise, and I'm going to a meat raffle tonight. So you had a great deal of success at the first ever Maction meat raffle that took place. So much so that I had to leave during the game to go down to make sure that you got your. I don't know if you've weighed that thing yet, but you got a pork loin the size of my arm, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good deal. That was my first ever meat raffle, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to get in this. I'm going to get in the game here. And I went 2 for 2 on my tickets.
Yeah.
I got 2 bone-in ribeye steaks.
Yeah.
And then I got, like as you mentioned, it's
got to be 10 pounds, but I bet it's more.
Like a tube of pork. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a whole boneless pork loin that I ended up getting, and I had to like curl it in order to get it to fit into my fridge.
I thought you were going to say into your car.
No. I had to stop and get ice.
Yeah, well, you better.
I was completely unprepared to be bringing home pounds and pounds of meat, but I did. I was, because I was excited. I never win raffles. I don't win stuff like that. And, it was for a good cause. It was for the campus soup kitchen and helping out underprivileged people that need food, so it was a good prize. So, all right, I was prepared to lose. And then the stakes come up. I say, I really would like to win a couple of bone-in ribeyes. That sounds good. I would like to eat those. And then I thought that I won. I thought my number came up, and you and Bob said no.
I know. We rained on your parade.
I was so excited. It was in such a good mood, and you're like, no, it was 88. It wasn't.
Well, no,
8.
we thought they said 80, but they said 8. They said 8. You celebrated. Bob and I both heard 80, and they didn't put the number on the screen. They just said it out loud, and that was it. And then they wrote it on a chalkboard, but we weren't near the chalkboard. The chalkboard was down in like the concourse, and we're up in the booth. So at halftime, I'm doing the halftime show, trying to talk about the football game, and you just walk in with ribeye steaks held above your head like a champion, and I had to stop talking about football and talk about your meat. And so you won that, and then in the second half, you won again. And that time, I had to leave the booth, and go down and get it because we had to claim it before the end of the game, and I don't think they plan on giving it to the broadcasters of the game. But, it's not really designed for that. But they did, and I don't think I told you this. I went down there, and I said, pork loin. And the guy goes, you won? And I was like, well, no, it wasn't me. It was my buddy, the color guy on the radio. He's like, didn't he win ribeyes? I was like, yeah, he did. He did win ribeyes. So then he gave me the massive pork loin, and we brought that up and just put it in the booth, and then watched the Bulls lose and watch Detroit crumble. And there's still a bowl game as a possibility, but I don't know. I hope I hope they have a good week of practice. I hope their attitude is better than mine, and mine will be better by next Friday when they play the day after Thanksgiving against Ohio. But man, what a disappointment! What a disappointment for this group. I think there's just so much talent on this team, and I think there's a good coaching staff in place, and I think they've got it right, but didn't quite nail it this year. And 6-6 is now the best possible option, and maybe there's a bowl game in the works, but as of right now, I'm not setting aside any days off or like plans to travel, because I'm not feeling it. And honestly, it's so stupid because it has nothing to do with me. If the Bills had won yesterday, I would feel like the Bulls are going to go to a bowl game. So like that just tells you how nuts I am. I'm just down. I'm just negative. I'm just sad. It'll be fine by next week, and they'll have as good a chance as anyone to beat Ohio. 50-50 split. I don't know. Flip of a coin. Maybe they win, and if they get it, they probably go to a bowl game. But I don't know. Where are you right now? What are you feeling, thinking?
Well, I think the problem is they're facing an excellent Ohio team who are the defending champions, and they're going to need help, but are still playing to go to the championship game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the odds are long, and there are a couple of games on Tuesday that, maybe that helps settle things out. And I don't know, maybe by game time, Ohio knows they can't go to Detroit. I don't know. Maybe that would help. But it's still going to be a team that's going to show up, play hard, and they're very talented and good. Listen, if the quarterback doesn't stop turning the ball over, it's a moot point.
Right.
That's not going to happen. That to me has been the difference this year. CJ Agbana last year, I think you can look at the numbers. Roberson has had bigger games, but Agbana didn't turn the ball over. So that alone changes a lot of these games where, to be honest, Roberson is turning the ball over a lot. He's exposed the ball to the other team a lot.
Yeah.
I thought there was a possibility in this game after Roberson threw that second pick right into the lap of a linebacker that we might see a change. Now, I think they stuck it out with him, and I think you see kind of where the coaches are and, the difficulty in taking him out. Because after he threw that pick, he went 3 straight drives where they scored a touchdown, and they just marched up and down the field on one of the best defenses in the conference. And you're like, oh, all right, well, he's back on track. But the problem is you get that for like what seems to be about a quarter and a half every game. And then the rest of the time it's darkness. And they've still been competitive and winning games despite the offense just kind of turning off for long stretches of the game. And that's where the frustration comes. Where if there's more consistency there and less turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, I think that we're still talking about the Bulls going to Detroit this week. Yeah. But that's hasn't been what has happened.
Well, even the success relied so much on a series of miraculous catches. I don't know that I've seen that many spectacular wide receiver plays in a football game in my lifetime. They made a whole Sports Center top 10 out of the catches in that game, and I think 8 of them were UB and 2 were Miami, or maybe 7 and 3, something like that. But McMillan was unbelievable. Gathings was unbelievable. Snow was unbelievable. Morrow made one that was unbelievable that doesn't even get on the list because he was just barely out of bounds, but it was a ridiculous diving one-handed Superman catch. That's what it took for success. Without miraculous catches, I think we're probably talking about a bunch more 3 and outs.
Yeah, I hear you. And they haven't been able to figure out running the football this year. And I don't know if that's, I think they're going to have to reflect and determine if that's scheme, if that's just some of the injuries that have happened and the shuffling that's gone on the offensive line, and inexperience at certain positions, talent deficiencies at certain positions there, or if it was the running back or what. Because, I mean, we've seen LJ run for 1,000 yards, but he's been banged up this year. We talked about him being a warrior where he's like, his arm is hanging down and you're like, wow, he's done for the year. And 2 plays later, he's in running for a touchdown.
Right.
You're like, well, okay. We saw less of LJ in this last game. We saw a lot more of Shelton, and they passed a lot more. And I think Shelton is probably, of the top running backs, probably the best pass blocker. I know LJ can pass block as well, but for somebody that's been dealing with shoulder injuries and stuff like upper body injuries, that's a tough ask to have him go in there, and get beat up in the passing game if he's already not healthy. So we saw a lot more Shelton. I think the best runner of the football this season consistently has been Sperling, and he's been the one that we've seen the least. So, I haven't really seen Shelton be able to break out and get loose like I have with Lamar. But again, you balance that out by saying, well, if we're going to pass, and they had, and then we got in the second half where they were in the deficit where they had to, Shelton is their best option between health and ability of pass blocking to have in there at the time. So it's tough. It's tough. There's going to be a lot of questions, and every team is different. Last year's team, I don't think was as talented as this year's team. Yet they got 9 wins, and they got the bounces, and they got the turnovers on defense, and didn't turn the ball over in offense. And this year, I think they're a little bit more talented, but they haven't been able to generate as many turnovers on defense. And then that's coupled on the other side with way more turnovers on offense. And it's a recipe for
5
teams
and 6
that you for 5 and 6 teams that you probably should have defeated, hanging around in games, if not beating you, like Akron, or being in games that should be close down to the wire and are not because you've handed the other team 2 touchdowns,
or leading by 18 in the second half and not winning against Troy.
Yeah, that Troy game right now is really looming large. And like we say, if the Bulls go 2-2 in non-conference play, which is pretty well set up, credit to the program and the athletics department. They do a great job scheduling for a group of 5 team, which is all right. You got one big game, you got your FCS, and then for the most part, these have been group of 5 games for the Bulls where they've been able to get 2-2, and they were set up again this year to go 2-2, if not 3-1. They did lose at the buzzer to an 8-win UConn team. The Troy game looms large because now we're not having any of these discussions. Everything is fine. They're definitely going to a bowl game, and this last game just becomes, can we beat Ohio because we hate their face?
I will say this: it's nice to be in. It doesn't feel great right now, but it's nice to be in a position where bowl game is the expectation. And that's really where we are now with UB. This would be, if they can get to 6, would be, I think, 7 of the last 9 years where the Bulls are bowl eligible. And, prior to this stretch, bowls were few and far between. So the program has been elevated to that point, but it makes it hurt more when when the season doesn't work out.
Right. And, I want to give credit. First of all, Miami, we talked about it. Miami's a really good team. That's an excellent team. And I want to give credit to Chuck Martin on Miami. And this has nothing, I'm not trying to draw any comparisons to the Bulls and their quarterback situation. I just want to say, I think it took balls to be on the road and have a quarterback, your backup quarterback, who is now your starter, playing for he's played in 3 games this year. It's not like he's just nobody. And they were not competitive and not really all that good against Toledo, but the other games that he has played, they've been fine. And he played 2 series, did Henry Hessen.
Yep.
And he just said,
3 and out, you're done.
You're done. I'm giving this redshirt freshman who has played 3 plays or 5 plays total in his career, I'm going to give him the reins, and I'm going to see what he's got. And Gakowski was good.
He was. Yeah, he won that game.
Nothing flashy, nothing special, but I thought just his presence and their ability to more consistently get something down the field allowed them to be able to win the game. Because I think if Hessen stayed in that game, the Bulls probably win that like a 2017 game, something like that. I think if Hessen's in the game when the Bulls come back and take the lead 20-17, I think they win. I think the Bulls are able to win because and you know who else agrees with me? Chuck Martin.
Right.
That's why he pulled him.
Yeah.
So, that's a gutsy move by a coach who's still in the championship hunt and has a good team and needed to get one more win to get bowl eligible. And he rolled the dice and it worked out. Not only because of that, I mean, the Bulls gave him a bunch of short fields, but his entrance into the game changed the complexion of the way things were going.
No doubt, for sure. He was impressive. Again, didn't blow you away, but he was in control. He looked to get the feel of the game. He understood what was going on around him, and made it possible for Miami to come out with the win. All right, I'm done. Do you have anything else you need to? Oh, do we have to do a pick? You have a pick?
I have a pick.
Okay.
For you.
All right.
I'm going to take Houston -1 at home against TCU. Horned Frogs without their big running back. They got a safety injury as well. And Houston still playing for an outside shot to make the Big 12 championship game. I like them at home. Willie Fritz doing a good job. It's kind of his second season, but they're having a breakout year. They're top 25 material. So I'm going to take the Cougars. Only got to win by 1. And I'll take it. There's also a couple of smaller school games this week that are important. Lehigh Lafayette, most played rivalry in college football. This is their 161st meeting, and there's actually a lot on the line. They're both in the top 25, I believe, in the FCS, so they're battling it out for the playoffs. And again, 161 years of hating each other, and that one, that's you can look no further than Pete Lembo. He's got some familiarity. He was the old head coach at Lehigh. He knows that rivalry well. That's a big one. That's an important game. Also, Montana versus Montana State. I think they have if not a top 5 name for their rivalry, and it's an important game. They're both very good this year. I think that probably should have been where game day went this week. Their rivalry game against each other is the Brawl of the Wild.
Ooh, that's good. That's real good.
And that's an excellent rivalry.
It's better than Egg Bowl.
It is. It is better than Egg Bowl. It is. I agree. It's not the flagship cup, but it is a good name.
Yeah, it's good.
And Brawl of the Wild is this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be on regular TV or if it's going to be a plus game, ESPN Plus, but that's fun. It's always going to be cold. There's usually some weather involved in that makes it fun, and both teams are very good. So a couple of extra games that if you're bored by some of the games this week, a lot of SEC teams are this is their week before the big rivalry week. So they've got a lot of cupcakes in there. There's a lot of, Samford's Eastern Illinois floating around so that teams can have the cupcake before the Iron Bowl, stuff like that. So if you're bored and so inclined and can find them on your TV, those are some other smaller school games that are fun.
Brawl of the Wild. Love it. All right. Hey, we're going to take a week off from live shows. I'm going to do something. I'll put something up, but that means I'm not going to talk to you on this. I'll talk to you. We'll record a UB podcast. We'll talk to you on the broadcast Friday. Well, what do you suggest?
Calling in. I'm going to call.
You can call in. It's the same number. It's the same number you call all the time. It's just we won't do a show. I'll talk to you.
Oh,
I'll talk to you. I'm just not going to be sitting in this chair with the light pointed at me and stuff.
This is the only thing good in my life. I need this.
No, you have 2 ribeyes and 15 plus pounds of pork that you got curled up in a fridge or freezer somewhere. Did you go fridge or freezer on the pork?
I went fridge because I'm looking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good chunk of it and do some chops, cut some chops out.
Makes sense.
And then I'm going to take the one end and I'm going to do boneless ribs.
Oh,
in a crock pot.
Okay.
I saw a thing online because you got
to look it up.
My day yesterday was like, Yeah, my day yesterday was, what do I do with this now?
What does a family of 4 do with 20 pounds of pork today?
Yeah, right. So one of the recipes was, if you take the wider end of the loin and you cut that off, that's what they make boneless ribs out of. So you take it, cut that end off, and then you slice it in half, and then you kind of just make the
A cubit almost, yeah.
yeah, like a two finger with cuts on either side, and you can stick it in a crock pot with some sauce, and then that's how restaurants normally do boneless ribs. So
That's
I was
a
like,
great
oh,
idea.
all right.
That's a great idea.
That sounds like something I would like to do, and I'm going to do it.
We had pork for Thanksgiving this year.
Here, I got a lot of we could. I got a lot of gruff about the meat from the wife because I have the drive home.
Yeah.
So I knew I was smart enough to get the
ice so she wouldn't yell at you.
Yeah. Right. And not only did I get ice when I got home, I put the ice right outside of the garage door.
Okay.
As proof.
That's smart.
As proof, like I did it.
Right.
I did it. I'm not just.
Well, she got on you immediately. As soon as you won it, she was very critical of how she thought you might transport it home, right?
Right. Yeah. It was, as long as it's still cold, that's fine. I'm like, oh God. All right. So now I got to stop and get ice.
Yeah.
Probably the right decision.
Well, otherwise, if she is not happy with your transport of the meat, now it's on you to eat 20 pounds of pork yourself, because she's going to be like, that's disgusting. And then what are you? She
won't let the kids eat it. Right.
So now it's just on you. Now it's you and the dog eating pork.
So I got it home, and for all the negativity that I heard about my victory and my great experience with the meat raffle.
Yeah.
Now it has been immediate. Like, I basically didn't see my family because I worked all day, then drove to the game and left the game and got home early. Everybody was asleep. I put my meat away and
basically went to work.
Yeah. And then woke up and went to work again. So I get home, and the first thing that happens is my wife saying, so you're cooking tonight? Are you making the steaks, or are you making? And I just said, no, not
yet.
This weekend, maybe. I am tired. So we have to find something else to do tonight. I need some sleep, please. And then we can talk about cooking that up. But yeah, I don't know. Are you big on like roasting the pork loin? I'd rather the chops.
I'm big on, we buy the pork shoulder, also known as pork butt, and I make pulled pork.
I like that. But you can't really do that with the loin, though. You can't.
It's not fatty enough. It doesn't come out right.
You can't do it. It's dry.
You can, but it's not nearly as good.
It's not good. It's not what you want.
That said, you've got, it's a lot of pork. I've got pictures of it I could share. There's a lot of pork.
Yeah, you do.
I think you need probably 3 ideas, and you have 2. I wouldn't be opposed to it. You just, instead of putting it, you could do it in either a crock pot or a pressure cooker, like an Instant Pot type of thing.
I've got one of those too.
You would use either chicken broth or beef broth as the kind of base. Don't use water. You use that, and that helps keep it from drying out as much. If you go Instant Pot, it's an hour and 10 minutes. And I would, you could do like, say, a third of it in there, and I would even cut that into a couple pieces so you're penetrating it more with the juice. And you do that, and then here's the key. You got to let it depressurize itself. So it's like a 2-hour process because it ramps up the speed, then it's an hour and 10 of cooking, and then it depressurizes. And then once the little thing drops and the steam comes out, now you take it out, now you pull it apart, now you fry it. Just enough to get it a little crispy. In sort of the burnt ends type of way, and it's about the best food you'll ever eat. That said, I use pork shoulder as opposed to pork loin, but you can do it. Take the fattiest third of the loin, and you can make that happen. You can make the magic happen. But I think you need 3 ideas for that amount of meat. You need 3 ideas.
Yeah, I probably need 3 ideas. I got I got the chops, and I got the ribs. I got to figure out what I'm doing with that third end. Maybe I'll
give it a shot, man.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Carnitas.
Oh, this turned into Mr. Food.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, well, going on
with the
vacation.
penetrate the meat.
Yeah,
and everything.
penetrate.
That got
penetrate.
sexy.
I heard somebody say, I think Eric Wood, yesterday, as I was pulling into my basketball meeting, I heard Eric Wood say, this league, it's all about penetration. And my thought was, the human race is all about penetration, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Right? So
Wood knows penetration. So
yeah, sure does. Okay. We're done. I'll talk to you next week, but not on the show. No show next week. You'll be fine. Eat your pork and shut up.
All right.
Thanks, Scott. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. That's Scott Wilson. We're done. I'm Brad Riter. Thanks for listening to Riter Radio.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?